All right, all right. Got my brother back in the building. I mean, at this point, is an introduction even necessary?
I don't think so at this point, man. I don't think so, no.
Nah, your face card says it all, man. Please, I mean, for those who don't know, please welcome Sergeant Nicholas Irving. Nick, what up?
How's it going? How's it going? Same on my end, man. Same on my end.
You know, Nick, we're going to jump right into it because got a lot to go over with you. I mean, we literally just sat down and had a very in-depth conversation. It feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, something like that. And so much has happened in the world within those 3 weeks. So today is, I really got to dig in with you and get your perspective on so much happening in the world. That being said, Nick, I don't know if you realize it, but today is the third interview that we've done together, whereas on the very day of the interview, there is a highly publicized mass shooting.
Right.
We are right in the wake of another one.
This morning,
we started the interview off last time.
Yeah. This morning, like where I'm at. Well, not where I'm at, but in Texas, yeah. Dallas,
Yeah.
right? Dallas.
In Dallas, Texas, this morning, I believe it was at a ICE facility.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
4 people shot.
Was it 4?
2 killed. Yes, 4 people shot.
Oh, okay. I thought it went up then. From when I saw it this morning, it was like 3. But I guess, okay, it's 4 now.
No, so they were originally reporting 3, but they did a press conference with Ted Cruz, the police commissioner down there, and a few others, and the police commissioner said it was 4 shot, 2 of which have been killed, including the gunman himself. But even before I get into that, the last time we started, we literally, it was the same day out in Minneapolis. It was mass shooting, remember?
Yeah.
That very day, it was a mass shooting, 17 kids shot at a Catholic elementary school.
That's right. Yep.
2 passed away then. And here we are right back in this same place. Now, today's is a little different, or not so much as different, but I guess you can lend your expertise to it because it was a sniper.
Yeah. Been a lot of that lately. Not a lot, but it's been a few lately, a couple so far. Yeah.
By any chance, did you get any update on what type of gun this sniper used? What type of rounds?
No, I got a chance to take a look at the picture. Like what it looks like to me, I don't know 100%. From that picture that I think it was Cash Patel, he had posted up with the writing on it that said anti-ice. It looked like Mauser, maybe like an 8mm or something like that. But it looks like it comes from like the Mauser rifle. I'm not 100% sure, but because it's on that clip, not a magazine, but like the clip, the little strip that holds the rounds on there, the bullets on there. That's like a old school style rifle, like a Mauser or something.
Okay, educate us. I don't know what a Mauser old school rifle is.
Okay,
what are you talking about?
It's just like an old like hunting rifle. I guess you would like identify it with like a long rifle, not like an AR, nothing like that. It's just a very basic rifle, long rifle used for hunting. I believe it was used back in, I forget which war it was, World War II possibly, the Mauser, or close to that. But it's not like a modern day bolt action rifle or semi-automatic rifle. It's just a old school style rifle, and it takes a clip where you feed the bullets in from that stripper clip. It's not like a magazine where the bullets with the spring in the magazine feed up into a rifle or a shooting platform. It's like a manual loading, or you load it manually using the clip of the that stripper clip where the bullets are at.
Okay, so when you hear that the gunman used that type of weapon, what does that say to you? Is this somebody who might be older? Is it just somebody who couldn't get their hands on anything new?
Yeah, it sounds like that. Maybe an older individual or someone who's not really well versed when it comes to like picking a shooting platform. Somebody who may be older, or just somebody who's like naive and doesn't know too much about weapons. But they all do the same. They all have cause the same destruction on the end. But a rifle's a rifle, and a Mauser's like not a small caliber weapon. 8mm rounds. It's a pretty significant round.
How much damage does that type of round do?
A lot. Like you have like a 70-80% chance of surviving a gunshot wound with a pistol. And you have about 70, 80, 90% chance of not surviving from a rifle round. And that's just because of the kinetic energy, the velocity of that projectile moving. It causes like a lot of internal damage. That shock wave, if you want to call it that kinetic energy, it causes a lot of destruction on the inside of the body. What we saw, or as a sniper, it's like the saying, one shot, one kill. If you hit someone's center mass with a rifle round, like the odds of you surviving that are really low, really low, really low. I've seen videos of a police officer. He was shooting some guy, and he had like emptied the entire magazine on him. 9 rounds, 10, something like that, or I forget what the number was, but it was a lot. He hit him a lot, and the guy was still standing. We ran into that problem overseas too, but that was like with M4s at close distance inside of a room. And that's just the bullets moving so fast, it's zipping through people. And we started to switch over to something that had a little bit more, I guess, punch to it, or having a hollow tip round, something that expands on impact, as opposed to just going through a subject. But yeah, rifle rounds are nothing to play with. It's going to do some damage, big time.
Did I hear you correct that you said overseas you guys were hitting the enemy with rifle rounds and they were still standing?
Yeah, the M4 platform, like as a door kicker, guys, we go into a house and you encounter somebody, 1 or 2 rounds, we stopped practicing the drill of just doing bang, bang. During training and stuff like that, where you're doing room clearing, every target gets engaged with 2 rounds. We stopped doing that, and we would engage them. We got out that mentality because going overseas, 2 rounds wasn't cutting it all the time. You'd have to put 5, 6 through somebody before they go down. And depending on the clothing they were wearing, like in the wintertime, bulked up or something, it doesn't cause the same effect. So we would train to just go until the target drops. And that might be 1 round, might be 2. But on average, it's like, I don't know when the soul left the body, per se, but yeah, you would engage like 5 rounds, 6 rounds per person. And I'm not the only guy shooting this guy. It's other people shooting him too. Yeah, you want to make sure the target goes down. So you put some holes in them.
Damn, it's almost hard to fathom that somebody could be hit with a rifle.
Yeah.
At any distance.
Yeah.
And they're not dropping on impact.
You would think, but I mean, look at deer hunting. I've never hunted animals before, minus like a bird or 2 as a kid with the pellet gun. But like when deer hunters shoot a deer, that deer, 8 times out of 10, it doesn't drop immediately. You'll see the deer, run off 100 yards, 200 yards or something like that. I've hit a guy with my rifle, an SR-25, a 308 round. And it took 2 rounds before he was incapacitated. One of my shots missed, but the 2 that connected, like he was still had some life in him before he finally went away. But 99% of the time, if I hit somebody with the 308, like they drop. But I do it's all about shot placement too. Like if I hit you center mass in the chest, like the odds of you making it yeah, you're going to probably go down on the spot. Or if I, connect with the head, then yeah, it's immediate. But it's only been like once or twice where I've had to engage someone with a sniper rifle more than once. And the other times, if I did it, I just wanted to make sure they were, make sure they're down. Body twitches or stuff like that.
It's unfortunate because these mass shooters are cowards.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cowards from the gate.
Oh, yeah.
They're cowards for what they do, but they're also cowards because they don't want to stay around for the aftermath.
Exactly.
They immediately, like this gunman down in Dallas, he's not deceased by the hands of the law.
No.
He's deceased because immediately upon the law arriving on the scene, heading up that way toward the roof he was on, he took his own life. They found him deceased. These, I often think, more people than not, they're just cowards, man. And it's just awful that you would cause this much destruction.
Yeah.
And then you're just not brave enough to hang around and be dealt with.
Right. It's a weird mentality. Like that's a weird mentality to have to, you wake up or you plan something out and you want to go cause destruction, and chaos, and you don't want to stick around after it. Like you're too much of a coward to, face the consequences or go out in a blaze of glory. I don't know how they think, but to end it on your own after, and it's small hits, I don't know. That's a weird level of hate to go out and do something like that, but then, take your own life. It's a weird mentality to have.
It really is. It really, really is.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you look at an 8mm Mauser? I want to make sure it's the 8mm. I'm like 100% sure, like 99.9. But yeah, my bad.
No, not at all. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Before I move this thing on, to your knowledge, how accurate is that gun? Is that rifle?
It's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Even though it's old?
Yeah, there was some really accurate sniper rifles and rifles back in the day. Really accurate. Like hundreds of, I would say, I don't know, the 500, 600, 700 yards, 800 yards, probably could engage a target. I have never shot a Mauser. Seen him in action. Is it 8mm?
Mauser model 98.30-06 caliber bolt action rifle.
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Might be an 8. I have no idea. It's like a 30 caliber. Yeah, I would assume, but I've never shot one. They're an older model rifle. I've only shot 308s, which is like a 7.62 in the civilian terms or military terms, NATO terms. 5.56, 2.23, and you have 50 caliber. I've never shot the Mauser. That's like something my granddad would have.
September 10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk, polarizing, right-wing political figure, wasn't killed. Let's just call it what it is. He was assassinated.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is before we dive deep into this. He was on the campus of Utah Valley University. I believe it was his first stop for the season on the American Comeback Tour. And essentially, he debated his beliefs with college students. College students of all races, creeds, ethnicities, religious beliefs. And he went into civil debates. Like him or don't, agree with him or not, he engaged in civil debates.
Yeah.
First and foremost, where were you when you heard about this assassination?
I was at home. I was at home and I was looking at on Twitter. It had popped up like the news alerts or whatever. Then I had one on Twitter, and I was like, I thought it was just like a shooting at the campus or something like that. But then I saw the video, and the video was what got me. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, we were not supposed to see that. Like the average person is not.
Did you see the unedited version?
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I saw. Like it was fresh right when it came out, the video of it, right after that. And I was like, as American or anybody, we're not supposed to see stuff like that. That's something that you're not supposed to, the average person is not supposed to see at all. That was like my first thought. And then it like hit me to where it's like, you just watch somebody get assassinated, a political figure, if you will, on live TV, live stream. That was wild. That was wild, man. That was wild. That was wild. And I haven't seen the impact. I told my wife, I was like, when they were saying he got rushed to the hospital, and I was just like, he's not, unfortunately, I was like, he's not going to make it. Like that was a devastating shot, and the amount of arterial spray and blood that came out of his neck was, you don't survive stuff like that.
When you see a shot like that, what does it do to you? Do you have flashbacks? Because clearly you've taken these types of shots, on record, it's 33 times. You have 33 confirmed kills. Do you look at that and is it familiar? Do you say, because you just said we weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah.
The American people weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah. Do I get I think like, I kind of do, but I don't I look at it, yeah, I guess you could say it's like a flashback, and I kind of say to myself, man, I've done stuff like that, but I don't I look at it more of what's happening to the person, in this case, Charlie Kirk. But I guess I do have like a little flashback, like, man, I've done stuff like that, or I've seen that before. It's more like that, just saying, like, I've seen this happen before to someone. And the way the body reacts to getting hit. I think that's the most recognizable thing to me of, what that looks like when someone does get hit. And know when it's essentially like a kill shot, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I'd look at it like that. If there's like any flashback, I don't go back in my mind and like pull up missions or whatever. I just remember certain, like a quick image of like somebody that I hit and what their body does. Yeah, more like that. I guess that's a flashback. I don't know.
When you say what the body does, because when he got hit, he didn't it wasn't like he got jerked backwards. It wasn't like he flew off the chair he was sitting on, the stool. He took it and then kind of fell to the side.
Yeah.
But it was a delayed fall to the side. Is that normal?
Very normal, very normal, very normal. I've seen that a lot, like throughout my entire career, whether from me doing it or watching other people get hit from my guys. Like it's rare you shoot someone sitting down, but the way the body tenses up and goes like limp after a few seconds, starts to like loosen up the muscles, but how the body and the arms go up to the chest and the legs kick out straight. Yeah. Yeah. I don't ever expect someone to get blown back. That bullet's moving, almost 2,000 plus feet per second. Some cases like an AR-15 round, I believe it's like, it's been a while, 2,975 feet per second. And like that's cranking out some speed, and that zips right through. Like your body doesn't have enough time to really react, other than the muscles getting tight, but that's because you're dead. Like something was severed. The brain stem was severed. There's no more connection from the brain to the body, and the body does that jolt. And I've seen that a lot. So
when we're watching these movies, people are taken around from a sniper shot, and it's almost like they get blown back into the wall behind them. That's all Hollywood.
All Hollywood. Like, my most vivid, well, I have a few, but I think like my most vivid was like my furthest shot, which is just, a little over half a mile, just about half a mile, a couple yards over half a mile. And like when I shot him, it just looked like, I don't know, like a truck or a big boulder fell on top of him. He didn't get blown back. He just sank down in his own weight. His head went between his legs and he popped back like a lawn chair. But yeah, I never saw anybody get like blown back. I've seen people get blown up, but that's from a bomb or, IED or something. I've never seen someone get shot and like blow back. Either they're going to keep coming at you, try to run away, or if it's a good shot, they'll just collapse like immediately. All life is just gone at that very instant. There's nothing your body can do. It's a disconnect from the soul and the body immediately.
I've asked you this in previous interviews, and you somewhat alluded to it in this interview. We've all seen this video by now. Charlie Kirk, as appeared in the video, he was shot in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was intentional? Because you always, made it a point to let me know when you took these shots, it was cinemass, it was the body.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this gunman, was he aiming for the head? Was he aiming for the body and just happened to get the neck? Or was that where he was truly aiming?
No, I don't think he was truly aiming for the neck. Like that's dumb. It's really dumb to even attempt to do that. You're going to aim for the head or for the chest. And I think in his case, just based on his rifle setup, his inexperience, his scope setup, I think he was aiming for the head and bullet went low. That's it. Some people say he had like a bulletproof vest on or something. I don't think he did, because you can see his paws, you can see his nipples through his shirt at one point as he's speaking. And unless that bulletproof vest had like nipples on it, I don't think he had nipples. And if it was body armor, it would have to be like hard plates. Soft plates, bullet's not going to ricochet, hit that, and then go up to his neck. That's not happening. And even the way, if it was hard plates, like that's a 1 in a trillion shot to have it ricochet up into his neck. I think he was aiming for the head, inexperience, terrible shooting platform. I think it was a myriad of different things that played into that I think he was aiming for the head, and yeah, you just, it went low. I think for that round anyways, you're looking at about anywhere from 3 to 6 or 5 to 6, 5 to 8, 5 to 7 inches of drop if you zero it at 100 yards, which most rifles are zeroed at. And you don't compensate for that additional, because it was like a 200-yard shot. So at 100 yards, if you zero for that, at 200 yards, you got to compensate for gravity. And you're looking at about, let's say, rounded up to like a 6-inch drop from 100 yard zero. So if I do aim at the head, 6 inches down is going to be the neck. So I think it was just inexperience, lack of ballistic knowledge, and shooting platform, nervousness. But I don't think he intentionally tried to shoot the guy in the neck. That's a very, very risky shot, and so no one does that. No one does that.
Were you familiar with Charlie Kirk before the assassination?
A little bit. Like, I saw clips online. I saw the clips that circulate online where he's debating on college campuses and stuff. I never followed him or anything or tracked his background. I just knew, I just saw the clips of, what circulated online prior to him being, assassinated. That's as far as the extent goes.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I probably knew as much about him as you.
Yeah.
I wasn't as tapped in or dialed in to just how influential he was.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned much about him in his passing. Unfortunately, As mentioned earlier, he's the CEO and co-founder of the conservative organization Turning Point USA, top podcaster, and was an ally to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He really was on the front line to remake the Republican Party's get out the vote effort in 2024. Before his passing, had a direct line to the vice president, and got shout outs from the president. So this, it wasn't like he was overlooked, unknown, or just some random guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
When you hear about high profile figures like this being taken out, does it say to you we're just living in a new world and anybody can get it? Or is it just a reflection of our political climate? Because politically, I mean, at the bare least once a month, we're seeing these political figures either having assassination attempts on their life or being taken out.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both, man, to be honest with you. I think it's just like the way things are now, but that's based on because of the political environment that we're in. I think there's a lot of tension with politics. I will never get involved with politics, but I think that there's just a lot of animosity within that entire pool of ideologies, thinkers, and people. I just think that there's certain people, I think way too many people make their entire makeup about them. Their entire persona is either left or right, Democrat, Republican. And I find that wild, that people make up their entire, who they are. Like their very essence is, I'm left or I'm right. I'm Democrat or I'm Republican. I'm even libertarian, whatever you may be. I just think that a lot of people, based on the political climate, they're just getting so wrapped up into it that that's who they are. It's just it's weird for me to understand, but I think that when it gets to that point, you get so wrapped up in it and you're wrapped up in this ideology that you're supposed to have or associate with, you get extremist. The same thing happens with religion. Any religion, you have extremists in all religions, no matter what you are. There's extremists in all of them, and I think that people who just base their entire life and makeup on this title, it's just weird. It's just weird.
Once upon a time, Nick, we would look at neo-Nazis, KKK, all of these different groups and label them extremists. They're extremists. But now it's, and don't get me wrong, politics has always been a touchy subject.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln got assassinated,
Correct. There you go. It's always been touchy. But I believe because, it's your neighbor now. It's the guy that works down the street at the local restaurant. But I truly believe that the politicians, the talk show hosts, the people who have these huge megaphones, they have to start taking responsibility no matter what side of the fence that you sit on, because they're always calling for nonviolence. But I don't think they understand that it's their words.
Yeah,
that is the match.
Yep.
The political mudslinging has gotten so dirty. It has gotten so low. What do you expect at this point? Whereas once upon a time, these groups, they were standalone groups. You can almost spot them. Now people are watching Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, and they're seeing the people who are supposed to be the leaders of this country. And those people are literally lighting the match day in and day out, telling you how the opposing side is ruining your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then when something like this happens, they're confused and calling for nonviolence. Well, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that on both sides, you know, you get the certain rhetoric from either side is like the match, you know, to spark whatever is going to be sparked, violence, whatever, hate. But I 100% agree with that. You know, some people don't think the same way or like everyone else, or the majority of people. They have a lower, I don't know, they don't think the way we do, or the average person does. And you say words like, hey, this guy's a Nazi, or this guy is this, you know, yeah, you can definitely spark something off with somebody who can't think for themselves, someone who has a lower IQ, if you want to call it that. They can't think for themselves, and they go out and do stupid stuff like this because they've been told over and over again, this person's trying to ruin your life, this person's after you, they're going to kill you, do whatever, you know, they're going to kill your family, you won't be, whatever the stupid stuff that they're saying. People take that to heart, man, and I think they go out and they're starting to act on it. But I don't think anybody's taking real responsibility for it either, you know. We all have free speech, but then, like, there's consequences that come with free speech. There's, you know, some people, you can't call them certain things without getting punched in the mouth. That's a consequence of free speech. But I think that these politicians and talking heads, they go out there, and I think that I don't know, it feels like they're intentionally trying to start something. That's why they do use these trigger words or whatever to incite something. And they fall back on the same, oh, I don't really want violence, we want peace. Well, why speak like that if you want peace then? Why use these aggressive broadcasting words that may not even fit this person? You know, are they Nazis? I don't know. I don't know half these people. 90% of them, I don't even know. But do I believe they're Nazis? I don't know. I don't think people realize what that even is anymore. You know, I don't even know if they teach that in schools anymore. They're too busy trying to teach on the colors of the rainbow. I don't know. But I don't think that we teach enough history and what these words and people really are, you know? I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, people are convicted every day of the week for putting a battery in someone's back, one way or the other, whether it is a woman seducing a man to take somebody else out. You know, it's somebody telling you, you know, you can go in there, there's, I don't know, X amount of dollars, and putting that battery in your back to go rob. You're just as complicit as the person who did the crime.
100%.
I can't wait to see the day when one of these public figures, they're held to their words. Because it's you. And I don't care how much any of you want to say we should have the right to free speech.
But one thing, a free speech, there's you can't incite violence though. Like you can have free speech, but inciting violence, I believe it's written in the First Amendment. Like that, it's like an oxymoron, if you will. But yeah, you can't incite violence and call it free speech at the same time. I can't incite a riot or say, hey, we're all going to go up and we're going to take over the government or whatever. Like that's free speech, but it's not because I'm inciting violence, and it like goes against that. So I think that's yeah, you're right about that. You're right. Once we get into that slippery slope of inciting violence and causing people to do harm to other people, then yeah, the people who incited that should be held accountable for it.
They really should. And I wish that there is a prosecutor that is brave enough to say, look, you all are responsible, but I'm going to go after X because I want to make an example. And then and only then will some of them start to tone it down on their rhetoric.
But these are politicians you're talking about, though. To even get them, I mean, that's a tough one. These are politicians, but they're dirty people. We got to stop looking at them like they're good people to begin with. They're all dirty. They're all dirty, no matter what side. It's all dirt, all dirty people. They're not going to come out here and speak angelic tones. No, I don't believe that. There's always an underlying something. I want to win. I got to keep my power. So to keep my power, I got to talk bad about these other people. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dirty game and they are dirty people. Question for you. And again, it goes right into what we were talking about. When that shot, which is now heard around the world, was taken, almost immediately, the right, and this is factual, I'm not trying to incite anything, but it's just a fact, use their platforms to say the person who took the shot must be an extremist on the left. Has to be. The left are extremists and they must be brought to task. When you watched that video, did you have any idea or thought who could be responsible for that?
No. No, not really. I knew it was somebody just deranged, and man, I would, and probably wasn't black, That's like, as far as my thought went on it, I didn't think about like, is he a left wing or right wing extremist? I didn't think that at all. I was just like, whoever did it was deranged, took some planning and hit his mark. I didn't really think too much behind it, like extremist. I'm not a political guy. I don't view people as left or right. Like I hate when my neighbors like identify as that or ask me if I'm anything. I'm a Rastafari. That's what I am. If you want to call me anything, I don't get too caught up in, I'm Nicholas Irving, is what my mom calls me. And my beliefs are X, Y, and Z. I'm not a political guy. Politics don't define me. They might control the aspects of certain things that I do in my life, which I think is wrong anyways. But no, I don't look at people, whether they're right or left. If you're a white guy, I don't automatically assume, oh, you're a Trump supporter, white guy. And if I look at a black guy, I don't think that, oh, you're a Democrat or whatever. I don't identify people it's just, I don't know. The fact that you can jump to those conclusions automatically, like after someone gets shot, is weird. I'm like, it was a deranged individual, somebody who was obviously sick in the head, didn't like what he was saying, and he took it, amongst his hands to cause violence and end someone's life. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't know that I gave too much thought to what side of the fence this shooter sat on, but there were several HBCUs that needed to put pauses on classes the next day because they were receiving death threats. People were literally calling HBCUs saying that there is going to be a shooting on your campus. And schools closed the day after Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
But why go after those that's weird. Why? Is it because he was just a left wing? I don't know what the guy was. Was he a Republican, Democrat? I don't even know, the shooter.
But the point I'm trying to make is, one thing I was extremely clear on, the person who took that shot was not a black person.
Yeah. So why go after the
that
HBCUs?
attended an HBCU in the South. That was obvious. I'm like, how did they get put into this mix?
Hate, man. Hate only breeds hate. That's it. That's it. And I guess because, I mean, was the guy left wing? Let's say he was. I mean, a Democrat. From what I know, what I believe, or what I see, is that generally black people are going to vote Democrat. And I think that to get at the left, if you want to get a bunch of them, you go after where you're going to find a whole, environment full of left-wing ideology. I guess would be people who vote Democrat. And blacks generally do, so you go after the HBCUs. It's still stupid to me. I don't understand it. That logic doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I think that people just want to fight anyways, though. I think that certain people are just looking for an excuse to cause a war. I see it online. You got people who are saying the Democrats or the left, they want a war, and the left thinks that the right want to start a war, and I just think people just want to start stuff anyways. I think people's lives suck right now, and they're trying to find a way to take it out amongst each other because they can't make it to the top. They don't want to go to the top. So they're fighting down here, man. That's what I think. I think that there's so much political animosity, people spewing hate, that's what's going on right now. People are trying to find a way to release this anger. And I think that. I think that America as a whole is just pissed off with the way things are going. I mean, to be honest, I don't really, what's the difference between the last administration? What's really the difference? What's the I don't know. Nothing's like, the sun's not shining any better on my end or anybody's end. It doesn't really feel like much of anything has changed. You can go down through a fine-tooth comb and get like all the wins and stuff like that we have on paper. But like in your personal life, those out watching, what has really changed, because your side's in office, you feel a little bit more proud. It's no different than, football teams, fans of football teams, soccer teams, whatever. Your side wins and you feel like you got a little bit more pride, but you still got to wake up and do a 9 to 5 the next day. You still got to wake up and pay bills, take care of your badass kids. Nothing's changed on your end because the Falcons won, or the Eagles won, or the Cowboys won, whatever. I just think people have like a little bit of extra pep in their step and feel like things have changed because their side won and they never liked this other side. It's gang mentality. It's gang mentality. Gang mentality. That's the problem with America right now. That's one of the main issues. Is you got too much politics. Everybody's a political expert, but no one's ever served their community. No one's ever gone door to door to try to make their community better, but they're all about politics and identify as being left, right, blood, crip, red, blue, whatever. It's all childish games that the grown-ass adults think this way, live this way, and want to wish death on somebody else because of their political views or where they may stand on a political spectrum. Are you a good human? That's all that matters to me. You are? Cool. If not, well, then we can go about it then, however you want to go about it. But too much violence in politics, man, too much.
No, it really, really is. Just a quick timeline, that I want to give you and the audience. This was, it feels as though it was planned out.
Oh, yeah.
On August 29th, Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th, August 29th, ahead of his visit to Utah Valley University. Change.org issued a petition that was entitled "Prevent Charlie Kirk from speaking at Utah Valley University."
Wow.
On September 3rd, Utah Valley University released a statement affirming that he would be allowed to give a speech And I quote, they have a commitment to free speech, intellectual inquiry, and conservative and constructive dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So the campus, they didn't respond right away. Clearly, they gave this some thought and said, you know what? Whether we agree with him or not, he's well within the right of his First Amendment.
Yeah.
On that particular day, September 10th, there's school surveillance cameras that picked up the suspected shooter walking onto the campus right around 12 o'clock, and that happened at 11:51 a.m. if I'm got my facts right. Around 12 p.m. noon, the Kirk event, it kicks off at the Fountain Courtyard, which is in the middle of the campus. At 12:20 p.m., he's taking questions, and that's when the shots rang out.
Wow, yeah.
So the shooter got there roughly 30 minutes ahead of time. Is that enough time, in your opinion?
Yeah, but I think he did his other surveillance prior to that even happening. Whether his surveillance was like using Google Maps, the overhead satellite imagery of where he could potentially set up, how to infill, where to go. He might have walked, I don't know, done that a couple of times in person, tested it out. But I think he probably used like Google satellite maps imagery to pick out his location, you know, where it was going to be at. They announced where it was going to be at prior to him getting hit. So he already had a reference of where he was going to have to shoot. And he probably just picked out his building and went on from there. But no, 30 minutes is not, no, that's very doable. I'm surprised he was actually up there that long for 30 minutes, but on a rooftop, just silhouetting yourself, you know, out amongst the open like that, the skyline. I think that's risky. That's risky. I think if I'm going to be somewhere for like 30 minutes, I'm not going to be on a rooftop. I'd rather be inside of a building, backed away somewhere, and would have set up what I needed to set up so you can't see me, but I can see you, you know.
The reason that I wanted to have you on this platform, obviously you're a sniper. You're a very skilled sniper, very experienced sniper. Hypothetically, if you were going to do this, how would you have done it?
How would I have done it? I won't give away too much, man. I would use like satellite imagery, Google Maps, something like that, weeks in advance, probably months in advance. And I would practice. Where can I go? What's my best vantage points? Yeah, I would practice that, where I'm going to set up at, what do I have access to? How can I get access to something? And I'm not going to set up on a rooftop. I'd rather be inside of something somewhere and set up and then execute my shot, but be in not so much of a, I'd be in enough hurry to get out to where I blend in with the crowd. And the evidence, it's very compartmentalized. There's nothing left behind. There's no evidence left behind. I would do it that way. A lot of planning. And how I'm going to get there and how I'm going to get out would be like my big two, what I'm going to take my time on and really, really plan out. And I might, depending on what my egress route is, if I'm going to go, am I taking a car to get out? Or what am I using as my screen to get out? The chaos, naturally, is what I would want to use. The chaos of what just happened. But I also don't want to stand out. I'm going to always act like I know where I'm supposed to be. I'm meant to be there, and I match the situation around me. But it would take a long time. I would take weeks, if not months, to plan something like that. But the odds of, you got a lot of stuff to factor in: cameras, surveillance, their surveillance, when am I going to set up? And for me, I'd probably want to set up hours, if not days, prior to what I'm going to do happens. That way when everyone's out there, you never see me getting into location or anything like that. I just blend back into the crowd when it's all said and done, but I'm not gonna, yeah, you're not gonna catch me on surveillance, broad daylight, like walking up somewhere. Or I might set something up on Wi-Fi camera, never mind, and you can remotely do it.
You know, you just brought something up that I wanted to tap into. Obviously, I mean, we're living in 2025. There are cameras everywhere. It's not just on the school's property and the university campus. There are ring cameras. People they're protecting themselves. The odds are not in your favor anymore.
No, not at all. But how would
once upon a time, you could possibly do this and disappear.
Oh, yeah.
I guess my question to you, can it be done?
Yeah, it can be done. You'd have to be seen, though.
In your opinion, and stop there for 1 second, because I really want to hear this answer.
Yeah.
You truly believe that you can pull this off with a public figure that's so well known in 2025 with all of the surveillance cameras that are on private property and public property, whether it is the traffic cameras, ring doorbells, right there on the school. You truly feel this can be pulled off?
100%. I know guys who can do it. I know guys who can do it 100%. But you'd have to know, you already would have to have a suspect, somebody who's off. Ring cameras are everywhere, but I mean, yeah, my infill or my egress would never be through a residential area to begin with. I mean, on a very simple level.
And I don't want you to get too detailed because I don't want you to give anybody the blueprint.
Yeah, but on a very simple level, what if I'm never even seen on top of ground because I'm utilizing the natural caves that we have in America called your sewage drainage and your, to get into a position, your underground sewage pipes, the drainage system, sewer system. I might not ever have to be even on top of ground. I can get into a position and out of a position because I've spent months planning on doing something that I'm never even seen on top of ground. I might slip away somewhere else and you'd already have to know what you're looking for to begin with. And there's no evidence. You won't see anything that like, oh, he has this and he brought this in. No, you wouldn't see it. And I mean, there's masks and different camouflage methods that they have nowadays that even if you did see me, it wouldn't be me, it wouldn't even be me. They have some really, really good masks that you can buy that look really realistic. And you wouldn't even, I could turn into a white guy if I wanted to. You saw Drewski?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
As you're talking, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could blend, and that was just using makeup, and a wig. But the person, I mean, you would never see me, whether I'm underground or even on top of ground. The person that you saw do something, if you did see anything, which would be impossible because of where I'll be shooting from. But if you did, you wouldn't even see the guy. You wouldn't see me. Like the hair's not going to be there. The tattoo's not going to be there. I'd have, I'd change up a lot.
Okay, so from your standpoint, this is not just about positioning. It's also about diversion in the sense of who they could possibly be looking for, meaning you're not going looking like yourself.
No, I wouldn't. No, I'm a dead giveaway. But that's just stupid to begin with. It's like, go back to like the Iraq War to sneak into certain locations, and you're walking with your team, a sniper team, and to make me something as simple as not making me look like a sniper would be breaking down my rifle, and I'm carrying a regular rifle like everybody else. The enemy, they don't notice a sniper. They see a guy who looks like the rest of the regular army. But then I have something in my backpack or whatever, my vehicle, and turn into a sniper when I get to where I need to get to. But like I said, to even get into a location I've never Like, you won't see me. No, somebody who's really trained and good and knows how to plan, you won't see them. And if the subject you thought you saw, you wouldn't have a description. Like, hey, he was a man. Okay, so now we're looking for a man in what? A ski mask, a wig? What are we looking for? Did I change my appearance to where I look fat? You know, did I put on platform shoes? I don't know. A wig. I'm not going to have the same skin complexion. I'm not going to have the same tattoos. I'm not going to have the same hair. May or may not have a beard, bigger beard. I'm not going to look the same. But I'm also not going to shoot from a place you'll be able to even see me. No.
You know, does it surprise you at all? You know, and maybe what I'm about to ask, we can just give all credit to law enforcement. They're extremely good at what they do.
Yeah.
Do you give credit to law enforcement for figuring out the location as quickly as they did? Or do you, and I don't know if I want to say give credit, or do you chalk it up to inexperience on the gunman's part for essentially allowing them to be able to figure out his shooting location within, I'd say, a half hour at best of when this thing happened?
Yeah. Yes to both. I give credit for, to the law enforcement, but like these big events like that, I just don't see why you don't have counter surveillance. Doesn't have to be snipers necessarily, but like that's the way people are doing things now. They're getting these elevated positions. You go back to the Trump first attempted assassination, the same thing, all the rooftops are never covered, which is weird to me at this day and age. That's a weird one to try to figure out. I give credit to the cops. It's not hard to find a guy, though, who shot from a rooftop. And with all the witnesses out there, but the lack of knowledge thankfully, that the shooter had, he was able to be seen and caught, But like somebody who's trained is not going to be, they're going to be inside of a building, inside of a shooting through a small hole. Whether there's windows or whatever on a building, there's ways to even get around that. There don't have to be windows or, doors to even shoot out of. You can punch through a building, and a good sniper can put that bullet through a very small, relatively small hole to hit his target. You'd be hard pressed to figure out exactly where he shot from. And he's not going to be in that first room. He'd probably be backed up a couple of rooms deep, shooting from a location. It's guys who know what they're doing and like especially like special operations snipers, guys who go through specialized schools, not just sniper school, like specialized schools. You're training guys to be assassins, like hitmen, straight up. There's no difference on how to get into an area, whether it's urban, woodland, doesn't matter. Get in, and then you have other trained professionals looking to see if they can find you, spot you, and then take your shot and get back out. Like that's what guys like us are trained to do by other professionals. And sometimes the professionals that come in are from government agencies. So we're trained by guys who are good at what they do. And we're also trained by guys who go searching for bad guys who, if they attempted to do that, like we're trained by them too. So we got a lot of knowledge on different law enforcement protocol. I mean, there's a lot that goes into stuff, but yeah, I give it the lack of knowledge to the shooter, Tyler. That's why he was also caught so fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, clearly hindsight is 2020. He made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, thank God he did. He did a lot of things that I'm sure him sitting in a cell right now is thinking to himself, I wish I had done this different, that different.
Mm-hmm.
But be it as it may, I remember when this thing first happened, I mean, I want to say within minutes, they had somebody in a quote unquote person of interest
Yeah.
in custody.
It was the older guy, right?
It was the old man.
Yeah.
It was the old man. And the more that the story evolved, because I'm like, how,
What was that
what
about?
was it about him
Yeah, I know.
that, that they would take, but he was actually screaming that he was the shooter.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just some random person was like, it's him.
Exactly.
He actually was yelling that, yeah, I'm the shooter.
Yep.
And that allowed the actual suspect to flee.
That little bit of chaos. That little bit of chaos right there.
Correct.
Yeah. But
And here's a crazy thing. And the old man's name is George Zinn. So now he's charged with obstructing justice. So that's number one.
Yep.
But I mean, I will just call him a clown because he really, really is.
It lets you know how many crazy people are around at any given moment in crowds like that too. You had a crazy guy, the shooter, then you had this weirdo who's like, goes to the event, sees it happen, and then like wants to take credit for it. Like, did you already have, I don't know, I'm not gonna say knowledge prior to it happening, but why was that your first reaction? That means you already had a certain animosity amongst you to even have that reaction. Like after seeing that live and your first reaction is to take credit for it, like that's a weird one. That's gonna be talked about, I think, for a while on exactly what was this guy's, was he just randomly there? Was he I don't know, man. I'm not gonna dive too deep into I'm not trying to get hit,
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think you are stretching at all when you say crazy people. In real time, somebody just took a hit in front of 3,000 people who were on site, like literally on site, watched it happen. And your first thought, your first reaction is to take credit for this?
Wild.
But the freaking the irony of this, when they do get him in, I mean, one of the first things they're gonna do is take your phone. Come to find out, on his phone, he has literally child sex photos and all kinds of pornography with children.
Wow.
That's on him. So now he's not just charged with obstructing justice, but he's got some child sex charges against him.
At a college campus.
At a college campus.
What was his whole purpose of being there? I know he wasn't obviously a student. You could just go to these events and just watch, or what?
Yeah, I get the sense that they were open to the public.
Oh, wow.
They were open to the public. People
dangerous.
could come. People could debate. And, he was just one of the onlookers that took advantage of that moment, forgetting that I'm a freaking idiot because I have photos on my person, on my phone, that could put me away for decades.
Yeah.
He literally just, I mean, and thank God he's off the street. So let's start there.
Yep.
So he did us all a favor as well.
I know, right? What a smart dumbass. Like, he was such a dumbass. He was smart enough to go ahead and put himself away. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good, like legitimately good for him. The more we come to learn about the shooter, it's so unfortunate because I know in his mind he thought he was doing something noble.
Yep.
He's in love with a transsexual female, and I mean he laid it all out within hours of this thing happening. He completely lays it all out.
What do you mean, like on the text messages?
On the text messages.
Yeah.
They had a whole exchange about him taking credit for it and the motive, why he did it.
Hella convenient, though. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's just to go through all, I don't know. It's a weird case. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. But I don't know. Some people can be so convicted if that's what he believed in, to go out and want to hurt somebody. Just crazy people. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy people. A lot of crazy people.
There are. I mean, and again, you know, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on, we all need the police.
Yeah.
We all need, when something happens, we're calling for law enforcement.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, you can talk all that, defund the police all you want.
Yeah. Let somebody break into your house. First person.
There you go.
Yeah.
You did. We all know 911.
Well.
And I'll give, you know, the law enforcement all the credit in the world. This happened September 10th. By September 11th, roughly around 7:55 p.m., they release a photo.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the photo goes out to the public. Hey, we have a real and a true person of interest. Mm-hmm. Do you know this individual? To your point, Tyler, Mr. Robinson, wasn't wearing a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
He had a baseball hat and glasses, but, you know, somebody's loves you. Somebody knows you well. And come to find out, his mother is watching the news and recognizes, yo, hold up. That's Tyler. That's my son.
Mm.
I thought they had a whole other dude in custody, the old man.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, I'm looking at my son. And his parents have to make a decision that I'm sure in their wildest imagination, dreams, in their deepest and furthest thoughts, they never thought they'd have to make.
Yeah.
I gotta, number one, confront my child and say, is this you? And then, do I turn you in?
And we just talked about that last episode, or last time.
With Queso.
Yeah.
Queso and his father.
Yeah. I have to turn my kid in too. I can't hold that back. That would hurt me. It would hurt me not because I have to turn him in, that too, but because he did something like that. That would hurt as a father, as a dad. That would really hurt. Like, man, you did that, you know, and yeah.
Our worst nightmare is that our child is on the receiving end of that bullet. But in a very, very close second, I mean, it would break my heart.
Yeah.
It would my heart goes out to all of the parents, the wives, the loved ones, and especially those parents. And it's their child who did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's their child that is responsible for the carnage.
Yeah.
I'm with you. You would have to turn him in.
Yeah, you have to.
But I don't know. I don't even want to think about, you know, what that timeline would look like, finding out that it was my child.
I'd be thinking, like, what did I do wrong as a parent? Like, that'd be my first thought. Like, what did I do wrong as a parent? You know, how did I fail my son or child that bad?
You know, I don't even know that would be my first thought. I'm sure it would get around to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be you know, and it's sad to say, because if you find out that your child is responsible for a mass shooting, a public assassination, or anything like that, I still love this kid.
Yeah.
I want to protect this kid. I'm sure my first thought would be disappointment, but also, what does protection? I'm still a parent. Like, what do? I hide him? Do I turn him in? Is that the best way to protect him in this moment?
No,
I would literally have to think from a protective, you know, Papa Bear standpoint. And if the net is turn them in, I would truly be doing it in that moment, not necessarily. And I hurt. It hurt. I'm sure it would come around to this, but it would be from self-preservation. I want to see my child alive and breathing, despite what they did.
I'd have to think about the kids who lost their life.
But that's the hard part, Nick.
Yeah, that's a tough call, man. That's a tough call. But why do you think that your son will be killed? Like, to preserve his life, why do you think your son will be killed?
That's a great question, Nick. And the short answer is, and we're talking about in immediate moments of me finding out that my child was responsible for such a heinous crime. Before I have a chance to mourn for the victims, which I'm sure I would still be in Papa Bear, I love my child mode. And I would be thinking about his protection. And I'm so sorry to say that, because I know it's selfish, but that would be my main concern, is his protection. And I would be scared to death that he be killed by the police, that they would find him and they would kill him. It would be no making it to the judicial system. It would be none of that. So it would be me trying my best to just keep him alive at that point, even if that means being locked behind bars.
Yeah. Man, that's just, all the way around tough. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt either way, though.
No, it's absolutely going to hurt. And, and I'm sure for his parents, it really, and I'm talking about for Mr. Robinson's parents, because to their knowledge, this son, this is a guy who played video games.
Wow.
This is a 22-year-old kid. He did, I believe, a year in Utah State University, dropped out, but he's just a regular kid. They don't know him to be political. They don't know him to be an extremist. So you talk about getting a sucker punch.
Yeah.
Somebody just walking up on you like, boom.
Yeah.
You wasn't looking for it. You wasn't expecting it. For them, this is the furthest thing from my son that I know. And then the real hell starts, which is now.
Yep.
My son, his best case scenario is he never comes home again.
That's facts, yeah.
That's a win.
Yep. Damn.
So can you imagine being in that situation where the best case scenario is that I never get to physically hug, I'm never going to dinner with, he doesn't come home.
That's like the best and worst then, yeah. That's the worst case. What's the worst case then? He's still gonna have the same outcome.
Well, the worst case is, which probably will happen, it is Utah, it is a red state.
Yeah.
He's gonna be sitting in front of a firing squad one day.
Yeah. Yep.
And we have a president in office who is probably going to do everything in his power to make this thing speedy.
As he should. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's, this guy will go through his appeals very, very quickly.
Uh-huh.
Tyler Robinson did appear in court, I believe on the 16th. And I don't know if you saw him during that court proceeding.
But I saw him with the vest on, that the turtle vest.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That green, I don't know if it's a suicide vest. I don't know what that vest is.
It is, yeah.
So I don't know if you really paid close attention to him, but it was almost like a deer in headlights.
Yeah,
Like
yep.
the gravity of what he had done.
Yep.
It might be the first time that he's truly really given thought to, damn, this is real. Like, this is my life. And I'm effed.
Yep. 100%. He looked dead in the eyes, man, just dead in the eyes. And you could tell he hadn't slept good in a while, which is a good thing, as deserved. But yeah, I think the gravity of actually what he did and what's about to happen to him is setting in.
Nah, I mean, I'm going to tell you how real it is. When they showed that court proceeding, I thought it was just a picture of him.
That's what I
He
thought.
didn't move?
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yep. Very robotic. Very robotic.
Like he didn't move, he didn't blink.
Yep.
I was like, yo, is that a picture of him up there?
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Dude's dead in the soul.
Yeah, you know, because this is not what he comes from. He's not from this world. He literally made a terrible, terrible decision. And, you know, now that I think about it, Nick, he thought he could get away with this.
Yeah. Yep. And he almost did. Kind of.
Yeah, he thought he could get away because even in his text messages with his roommate, he was saying, yo, you know, I left the rifle.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
And he wanted him to go pick it up for him.
You're correct.
Uh-huh.
Or, no. I think he was saying that he was going to try to go back and get it. He was like, yo, the cops are swarming all over that place, but hopefully they don't find it. I'm going to just go pick it up once they leave. But I can't get it right now. I think the reason he looked like a deer in headlights was because he actually didn't think that this would come back to him.
Yep.
So it begs the question of a conversation that we had earlier. Do you think that's why he didn't take himself out?
100%. Yeah, I do. I think it's that. And I think he thought he was going to make it back to his partner, you know? I thought he was going to make it back to his partner, him, her, I don't know. And he was going to be like, I did this for you type deal. Like I don't know, just some weird played out fantasy. Yeah, it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot to even get away with stuff like that. The DC snipers, you know, they almost did, but we were going after, I grew up around that area when that was happening, the DC snipers. And I remember watching out all the kids in our neighborhood. Every time we saw like a white van, we'd run inside thinking it was the DC snipers. And it turned out these guys were in a car the whole time. You know, It took them a while to find them. And that was just out of like luck, if you want to call it. Yeah, I guess you could say luck.
No. It wasn't luck. It was great police work.
It was
I remember
okay,
that case.
But the DC snipers they left a lot of evidence. I think they were not trying to get caught. They were toying with them. But if they would have stopped and never left these notes and all, I don't think they would have been caught. Looking after the wrong stuff.
I'm listening to you, and it's because you said so much good stuff in this conversation, and people should really go back and listen. But you were talking about, hey, if it was me, hypothetically, how I would do it. And you were talking about shooting through a small hole.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
with the DC snipers, they did the same thing.
They did the same thing.
Yep.
They cut a little hole in the back of a trunk of I believe a Chevy Impala. Cracked the trunk just a little bit and let those shots off.
Yep.
People had no idea where it came from.
Nope.
They didn't know what they was looking for.
Nope.
They were ghosts.
Yep.
What got them caught was arrogance, stupidity, and great police work.
Yeah.
Meaning these guys started calling the FBI, demanding ransoms.
Yep.
They wanted fame and notoriety for what they were doing.
Yeah.
And literally not taking into consideration, okay, maybe you are an expert as a sniper, but when it comes to this law enforcement and technology, you don't realize you're outgunned right now. So
Yeah.
every time you leave a note, we're checking for DNA, fingerprints. Every time you make
Handwriting.
a call, handwriting,
Everything.
and got themselves caught. And
Yep.
to your point, they would have otherwise, it would be 20-something years later, and they could be your next door neighbor and nobody would ever know.
If they would have stopped after that first one or whatever, I don't think they would have been caught. They were looking in the wrong, I don't think they would have been caught. And you're right, they could be our neighbor or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, interestingly enough, I was just looking up because I wanted to know what type of weapon was used to assassinate Kirk. And it turns out that it's and I don't know if I'm saying this right. It's a .30-06 bolt action Mauser rifle. We just got through talking about the Mauser earlier in this conversation.
Yeah, 30-06. Yeah, that's 30-06.
You're familiar with that weapon?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, is that any better than the other Mauser that was used in the Dallas?
I don't know.
ICE
I don't know
shooting?
if that's what he had in the Dallas shooting. I'm just basing it off of the rounds and the clip that the rounds were on. It's a decent, fairly decent hunting rifle. Yeah, fairly
Is it
decent.
considered old?
No, I mean, Carlos Hathcock back in Vietnam was using it. He's a legendary sniper.
Yep.
Yeah, he was using rounds like that too, rifles similar to that. So, and my granddad used to hunt with 30-06 a lot. When I used to go down there as a kid, like one of the first long rifles I shot was his 30-06 and 30-30. But yeah, packs a punch. Definitely packs a punch.
You know, when the investigators, when they found the rounds, when they found the rifle, it was 4 rounds that was left with it. One of which was spent, but they did find the casing, and there was inscriptions on each of them. So the motive is clearly there. You know, on one of them it said, "Hey, fascists." On another one it said something like, "Oh, Bella Ciao," and that's a song, Bella Ciao, which remains widely known as an anti-fascist anthem. And on another one it said, if you read this, you're gay. LALMAO. So dude clearly had a sixth sense of humor.
Yeah. I don't know, like the Dallas shooting, the same thing. He wrote something on his ammo too, and I don't know what that's all about. Like I've done it like maybe once or twice overseas, write something on a bullet, but yeah, nothing like, it was like a smiley face or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, do you remember what you wrote?
I didn't write like anything out. I think it was a smiley face. It was a smiley face. Might have been bored in my room one day. I don't remember what I was. Yeah. But I think it's kind of weird.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kind of weird. Everybody's doing it now. It seems like writing something on the card. I guess it's like to leave a message, to write something on the cartridge or whatever. I didn't write mine on the casing, the cartridge. I wrote it on the actual like projectile, the bullet, the part that pops out. I drew like a smiley face on it or something. Or maybe like my initial. I don't know what I wrote on there. Why did I just do a smiley face? Something stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, the guy in Dallas, they actually showed a photo of the bullets that was found, and it said anti-ice. So it was clear. And here's a crazy thing about him. He's anti-ice, but the only people that were hit were detainees.
Yep.
Is that not insanity?
Exactly.
Is he just a bad shot?
Bad shot, and I think that like I don't think that facility really has that many ICE agents. I think it's more, the immigrants or whatever that are getting housed there. And I think that he just shot into the crowd of I don't know. I don't think he was like really if he was aiming, he's terrible at it. But for him not to hit any of the ICE agents, law enforcement, I think that, terrible aim. And I just think he kind of like blind fire. I don't know. And I have no idea how many rounds he even shot, how many times what, 4 people got hit, you said?
4 people got hit, 2 passed.
Okay, and I think, well, maybe he did shoot off all the rounds that are, I think it has like 4 bullets that fit on that clip. So I don't know. It might be he just ran out of bullets after that, and that's who he hit, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculously ironic.
Okay, yeah, they're saying it was a bolt action. So yeah. That's, yeah. Kind of like defeated his own ideology then.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly says anti-ICE. He wrote it. And the only people who were hit were detainees outside of himself.
Yeah. Detainees, yeah. Huh. I know. Yeah, the bolt action for a mass shooting, that's wild. Typically if you're going to do a mass shooting, you're not going to use bolt action. It's going to be a semi-automatic. So, yeah, that's like the Charlie Kirk incident. He used the bolt action because he was just going after one individual.
Well, it turned out that it was his grandfather's firearm. So I think he used that particular gun is because it was the only one he had access to.
That too, yeah, that too.
I mean, I'm going to ask you a question that I have asked you on multiple occasions, but here we are once again. Does this change your thoughts in any way about the Second Amendment?
Not at all. Not at all. It kind of like reinforces it. I mean, because now if you look at the shootings, the weapons that were used, none of those were the AR. None of them were semi-automatic. They all been bolt action, like your granddad's hunting rifle. So now do we want to ban assault weapons and we want to ban bolt action? What's next? The mass stabbing? Then we got to start banning certain knives, What are we going to... Yeah, I think it only reinforces it because initially the whole scare and why the Second Amendment was up for debate or why we wanted to relook at it was because of the semi-automatic, what they call the weapons of war, the AR-15, whatever. Now it's not that. Now it's these single one-shot, hand-manipulated, rifles that are taking people out. Then you got to so now you just want to repeal the entire Second Amendment and get rid of all the guns and just let the government have it? Can't do it. There's a few countries out there that have tried it. Not one of those countries has ever like come out on top. Look at Australia now. Australia's sucking. The UK's sucking. Yeah, it's a lot of places out, and that's just like today. You go out throughout history, you take the weapons away from the people, the government can implement whatever laws that they want upon the people. You have nothing to defend yourself with. You have nothing to defend yourself or your family against the guy who does want to break into your home with a machete and slice your whole family up. I'm not one to do stick fighting, paws, or fight with machetes. No, I'd rather have something to be that equalizer that no matter what, I'm going to come out on top. I have a family to protect. I got my life to protect and my friends and family around me, people around me. So if that means by me having that equalizer, that weapon, then by all means, give it to me. But I don't ever want to be caught with my pants down. I don't want America as a people to be caught with their pants down when you have nothing to defend yourself with. Words can only do so much. But even Yeshua had to start flipping over tables and whipping people If you read the Bible, he had to go make a whip when he was flipping the tables in the temple to whip them people. So at some point in time, you got to stand up, and sometimes standing up and defending yourself, you got to have an equalizer. You got to have something. Got to.
It's without question you're armed right now.
I'll show it to you. It's right now.
Okay. I won't ask you to show it on air,
Yeah.
but I should have asked you last time. What is your daily weapon of choice? What do you carry?
6
or do
hour,
you switch them out?
A 6 hour 365, P365. It's a 9mm.
Why?
Because this one holds, I believe this one's 15, 12 or 15. I have a couple of SIGs, not the 320, 365s, and I have an AX Legion. And I have a Glock Zev that I kind of switch out from time to time, but like every day you're gonna find the 6 hour P365 9mm on me at all times.
That is, for lack of, I mean, that's your sidearm. That's what you're riding with.
Well, yeah, I'll show you it's not the weapon, but I got the bullets right here. Like, that's.
How much damage would those bullets do?
A bullet's a bullet, man. It ain't gonna do too much. I mean, but it ain't gonna do too much. It does enough, but a 22 can do damage. But I'm not gonna shoot someone, like I said, once or twice. It's gonna be quite a few times. And I'm hit you in the chest and the head if I can, to the best of my ability.
You know, I never asked you this question, but at one point in your life, you were a savage.
Mm-hmm.
You was out there. You were war. It just is what it is. You have become war.
Mm-hmm.
But since those days, like you said, you're Rastafari. You have reintegrated yourself into civilization.
That's a constant battle. I'm still trying, brother. I'm still, every day is a battle war is never going to go away. The war is never going to leave me. The thoughts, guys who I've seen die, things that I've done, like that's never ever going to go away. I'm scarred for life when it comes to that. Like, I'm still going to have bad dreams at night. I'm still going to think about stuff. I'm still going to smell diesel fuel depending on the day and the temperature and be, back in Iraq. That's always going to be there. Yeah. But I don't walk around like I want to go and I'm on a mission and, I don't know. Every day is a constant battle. Some days are just better than others, but who's not in a constant battle? We all are in some way, shape, or form. No one's ever going to be perfect.
Understood. But I got to ask you, when you were living that life,
Mm-hmm.
the sound of gunfire was second nature.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was coming from you or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't a civilian like the rest of us. We hear gunfire, we're ducking, where most people are going to be immobilized.
Yeah.
If a mass shooting happens, they don't know what to do. Do you think you've become so civilized that if you're caught in that situation, you won't react like the old Nick Irving, or do you think muscle memory will kick right back in for you and you'll be able to pull that thing out and react the way you used to?
Muscle memory, and I train weekly. I can still, if something were to happen, a threat, I can still take this out and put like 5 rounds on target in under 2 seconds.
Okay, but to stop there.
Yeah. Like a second.
Do you think your reaction time, because it's not like you're in war anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like.
But there's not much, there's not much to think about. I'm trying to think, like, how can I put this? Like, if I won't hesitate. There's no hesitation. Like I'm always thinking about it. And I wouldn't be like, if something like that does happen, I don't go out looking for it and I don't wish this to happen. But if something like that does happen, I've been thinking about it my whole life. I'm thinking about it now. I'm looking at you, but I'm still, my periphery, I can see that door crack. I know who comes in and out. I'm always thinking about something. And if I'm faced with that opportunity, there's no hesitation. There's no, I have to slip back into a mentality. No, I want to kill you. I want to kill you. I won't bat an eye. I won't take a breath. The only breath I'm going to take is the one probably before or after the shot, just to get my sights back on target. That's about it. I have no issue when the time comes, if the time ever came, I'd have no issue with killing someone. No issue. And I'd probably want to be quicker than I was when I was younger. And I'd do it, I don't know, I'd be better at it. I train weekly. My reaction time is probably a little bit faster now than when I was younger. Maybe when it comes to certain things, and from looking like this to pulling out my weapon and dropping something. No, it's going to be in under 2 seconds. Rain, sleet, snow, just fresh out of bed, doesn't matter. In under 2 seconds, I can end whatever I need to end. All I need is the threat, just the threat. Be a threat. And you got like 1 point something seconds time left on this earth. That's just fact. Look at my YouTube channel. My reaction time is still, I box. Like, I have a boxing lesson and sparring match after this interview. I box every day, 5 days a week. I shoot weekly, sometimes 2 times a week. Let violence show up. I'm not asking for it, but if it does, like, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. If I see the threat and there is violence and you put violence on me or around me and it's deemed necessary that I have to take your life, I'm going to process that in a fraction of a second. And you'll be dead in the next. Like, I'm not trying to sound tough about it. It's just facts. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. Violence plus Nick, you're going to die. It's math.
Whoa! Damn! That's hard, Nick.
It's math.
Whoa! Violence plus Nick equals you gonna die.
It's math. It's a mathematical equation. It's scientifically proven. It's scientifically proven. There's nothing in my body. Ask people. You don't have to ask me. I got 20 other dudes you can ask, and people who know me now. Like, I'm a really nice guy. But if you need hands put on you, I'll put hands on you. And any other type of, if you try to, I've almost been robbed. Ask him how that went for him. In under a second, I've almost been robbed. Ask him how it went.
It's unfortunate because, first and foremost, I totally believe that there should be regulations on semi-automatic weapons of war. Everyone shouldn't be able to own that. I'm sure the comments are going to beat me up about it, but it is what it is. There's no place for that in our society. We're not on the battlefield.
But we are.
With that being said,
but we are. We are. America is a...
Nick, I didn't say take away the guns. I said those AR-15s, those weapons of war, there's no place for them. It's just not.
Why do cops have them?
Because criminals have them. If the criminals didn't have them, the cops wouldn't need them.
Criminals are always going to have them. The criminal's always going to have them. You can go on the border and get a whole RPG if you wanted to. You can get a whole RPG if you really wanted to.
No, listen, you get no denial from me. I understand the world that we live in. I just believe we could do it better. And with that being said, many people who are caught in those situations, they panic, they freeze, they aren't trained, and their only impulse after freezing is to run. Mm-hmm. And they're hit.
Well, the unfortunate thing about like these sniper shootings now, like even that I'm packing right now, there's not much that I could do except for, run to my vehicle where I keep an AR-15. But more than likely, I'm gonna try to get out the situation. But the only reason why I have a pistol is just so I can fight my way back to my AR-15. That's the only reason why I have a pistol, is so I can fight my way back to a bigger gun. Mine just so happens to be in my vehicle. And then I'm gonna go home where I got other weapons at. If you want to bring the fight there, good luck, man. Because my neighbor's gonna have one too. And I'm gonna call him and my friends. How much ammo do you need? But that's normal in Texas. I mean, maybe it's a Texas thing, but guys who have, one of my best friends has an underground arsenal, like a legit hundreds of rifles, pistols, tens of thousands of it. Yeah, that's normal. If you don't have 1,000 rounds, I'll ship you some. But you live in New York, though. You can't have any. Never mind. But if you needed some, I got plenty, man.
Okay.
It's a lifestyle. I don't know.
I think part of it is just that. It's a lifestyle. And, I'm not naive.
You got to be responsible, though. I think responsibility, yeah. You got to be responsible, man. I think that there's a lot of people. I'm not going to say get rid of the guns. I can't see it that way. Because if something does happen to me and all the guns go away, then who's going to protect my wife or my kid or my elderly parents or what? I don't know. I'd rather it stay the way it is. That's my opinion. But I'm also like a responsible gun owner. I'm not. Yeah, unless you know me, you wouldn't know I have it on me, You wouldn't even know.
I think they would, Nick. Like, have no illusions. You got tens of millions of views.
Well, now they know. If you watch and know who I am, you know.
Nick, Nick, let's be clear. Like, we don't even need to go down this road. Like, I think what I don't think is you realize just how recognizable, revered, people love Nick Irving, and it's millions of them, man. I don't think anybody, is sitting around thinking, well, I'm gonna catch Nick on his day off. Let me try him on a Monday afternoon. He should be sleeping.
No, I don't sleep. That's the problem. I don't. And I got 2 pit bulls and some surveillance. Yeah.
I'd expect nothing less from you, Nick.
You gotta fight.
And neither would nobody else.
You gotta fight. Yeah, if you're gonna get me, you gotta fight.
Oh man. Okay. I wanna turn this comment back because it's really, in many ways, a discussion about the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. The Charlie Kirk assassination, God bless his soul, my heart, and I say this despite me having very opposing views than he had. My heart goes out to his wife, his children. and he did it the right way, from what I can see. You know, he wasn't trying to incite riots. He was conversing
Exactly. Yeah.
and speaking his truth.
Yeah.
And inviting people to do the same. So with that being said, I want to share some of the things that he said. And you know, I mean, this is who he was. At a Turning Point USA event in 2023, Kirk said, and I quote, he thinks gun deaths are quote unquote worth it to have the Second Amendment. We must be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizen comes with a price, and that's part of liberty. We need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It's not going to happen, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the cost. Unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment. It's kind of prophetic, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that or worded it like, I think that all violence and all gun deaths that are, you know, unwarranted are unnecessary. I don't think that there's like a acceptable amount that we're allowed to have. I think it's all stupid and unnecessary to begin with. But I also know that people die every day. You know, there's a lot of alcohol related deaths in America, you know. We're going to ban that too. I don't know. There's a lot of bad things that come of alcohol, from drinking alcohol, domestic violence issues, things that spew from that. I don't think any of it's necessary, but does that mean I have to take away your right to indulge and have a good time if that's how you have a good time? You know, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But I also don't believe that there's an acceptable amount of gun deaths that we need in order to have this right. I just think it's a right for us to have. It's a right for us to have, regardless of whatever. No deaths. I still want to be able to have all my fun toys too. I'm not hurting anybody. But for me to have it, I don't feel that you should die so I can have it. No, I don't believe that either. Unwarranted.
You know, I think that's well said. And I think well, he was very, very outspoken, because I was going to say if he was here, maybe he would change what he said and say it as you just said, but probably not. On his self-entitled radio talk show, he expressed his dislike for the word empathy. He was like, I can't stand the word empathy. I think empathy is a made-up, new age term that does a lot of damage. I don't know how, but you have any thoughts about that?
That's a weird one. Empathy. Like, he doesn't believe that should even exist?
He doesn't like the word, didn't like the word.
I don't agree with that. No, I think that empathy is like a characteristic or trait that I think all humans should have.
Agreed.
I think all humans should have it, should carry it. If not, just be a callous, you potentially could be a callous, soulless individual. And an entire world based on people like that, I don't think that'd be a good look.
And I think that the lack of empathy, it prevents us from putting ourself in another man's shoes. It prevents people from looking through the eyes of others that they may not agree with, others that they look down upon.
Yep.
You know,
if
I were in the room.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, if that word, I mean, if anybody believes that, that's his belief. But if anybody else believes that, I would just pose the question, and if you believe in a higher power, would you not want your higher power, whoever that may be, to have empathy when it comes to your soul when that time comes? I think empathy is what makes the higher powers, whatever you believe in, is what makes them one of the standout traits of what makes them who they are and what they are. What they stand for is having empathy, compassion for your fellow neighbor. I believe
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. Being able to have compassion for your fellow neighbor, it starts with empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you know, this guy was not shy about his words. He had strong beliefs. And if you look at his words on the surface, they truly they come off racist.
Mm-hmm.
They do. But I have personally seen clips where he sounds the complete opposite of a racist. Totally the opposite of a racist.
Mm-hmm.
He has strong Christian values,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, when he first passed, I was seeing a ton of clips, and I'm gonna read a quote that he said in a second, but I was seeing a ton of clips that I'm like, who is this guy? Like, this guy was a complete racist.
Mm.
And then the more I dug into him, he has clips where he sounds, you know, maybe he had never put his self in the shoes of the man next to him, where he was just, and I mean this in the truest sense of the word, he was just ignorant to the lifestyle and the life walk and the plight of others. But it didn't come across as pure racist.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he said, and I quote, "Black people were, quote unquote, better in the 40s under Jim Crow laws." While debating a student, he actually said they were better in the 40s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. That's crazy.
Yeah. I do agree. That is crazy. I'd have to know like the full context, but based on what you just told me, yeah, it's a wild accusation, but without empathy, he can't put himself into a black man's shoes. Never will be able to, but without empathy. Do I agree with that? Of course not. I didn't grow up in the 40s, but, you know, I've have grandparents, parents that I, you know, talk to and hear from, but I don't agree with that. As far as being better off, no, I think it was bad then. I don't have to worry about it getting whipped now. I'll tell you that.
That's crazy.
No, but I'd have to know, like, what does he mean by better nowadays than back in the 40s? Like, what is that about? I have no idea what he's talking about. But based on what you told me, no, I don't agree with that. Of course not. But that's if that's what he believes, that's what he believes. I'm not going to get out of character. You know, I'm not going to let him change my character or who I am because he said some words. I say crazy stuff sometimes too, I'm sure, you know, but I don't want to be judged by a 15-second clip or some sentence that somebody took out of a 3-hour conversation I had with you and like determine my entire makeup out of it. I say wild stuff all the time, I'm sure, you know, but one, I don't think I should be killed for it. And I also don't expect everybody to agree with me. But at that point in time, in that place, in that manner, whatever it may be, that's what I was compelled to say or what I felt. I might change tomorrow. I might have a different outlook on something tomorrow. But I'm never going to let somebody else's belief like get me out of my character. I'll just be like, man, that's wild. Or he's a dumbass or something along those lines. But because you feel a certain way about people, you know, oh well. But I don't know, oh well, yeah. I'm not going to lose sleep about it.
You know, obviously he was deep rooted in his Christian beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
He was pro-life, and he was actually asked that his daughter were raped, would he allow the child and got pregnant due to it, would he allow the child to be born? And after he called the scenario graphic, he responded, the answer is yes. The baby would be delivered. He's strong in his convictions.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give him that. You're asking if I agree with that?
I just want to get your thoughts on it because he had polarizing views. I mean, even people who are not pro-life.
Yeah.
People, they feel there should be some limitations. Rape, incest, those types of things. The baby shouldn't be born.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I know it's not a tricky topic for me. Like, I know where I stand with it. Believe that there's certain instances like rape, incest, like, if that mother or whatever does not want to carry on with that, then that's what you want to do, That's what you want to do. I don't really care. Like, it doesn't affect me. But I'm not a woman, I'm not a female. So of course it's not going to affect me. But sometimes I think that these people who get these polarizing views or whatever, sometimes I think that they may say something like that just to get a reaction, just to get a little bit more views, more clicks. I think a lot of the stuff, do they really go home at night and, believe this like down to their bones? I don't know. I don't know these individuals, but sometimes it sounds like they can say these really, it's like Kanye West when he will come out and say, hey, slavery was a choice or whatever. He says some wild shit too. But do I believe that he believes all this stuff? No. I think a lot of it is to somewhat get a reaction. And if you're going to, college campuses, to young-minded youth, to spark up a debate, you might want to say some controversial shit, But that's what these people do. These, what job title would you even give that? I don't know. These political, speakers. I don't know what you want to call, what you call them. But yeah, some people just say some crazy stuff sometimes just to get a reaction. Whether they truly wholeheartedly believe it or not, I don't know. Will their ideology change over time? Probably. If that situation happened to them and his daughter was raped and, she did not want the baby, would he sit down and listen to his wife or I don't know. Would his views change on that? Possibly.
Yeah, I think that, when things hit home, because it's always easy to talk about what you would do when it ain't happened to you yet. But it's a whole different story when these scenarios come knocking on your door.
Yeah.
And you're forced to live by all of those judgmental views that you had about others. And now you got to walk in a mile in the next man's shoes. Something else that he said, he suggested trans people are wearing the gender equivalent of blackface. He said a man who calls himself a trans is wearing women's face. No different than I would be when I would wear blackface trying to be a black person. It's assuming an identity that isn't yours.
Man, you trying to get me in trouble with this one. Oh, man. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. Man. I don't think it's the equivalent of blackface. No. Because I know the history of it. I'm not even, are they still, man, you're trying to get me in trouble with that one. I'll say this, I don't think that it's the equivalent of blackface, no, at all. I'm not a transgender. I personally don't know transgender people. I've like, yeah, I've possibly may have like talked to, pause, not like that. I mean, like conversed, with the gay person or whatever. I have a gay person in my family, but I don't know what's going on in there. I don't know why they're, I don't know. I have no idea what that's about. I'm not too well versed in that community to even know too much about it or give my opinion. I don't know what it's about. I know what it's about, but I'm not too well versed with that community to even, it's not something I seek out, Do I have anything against them? No. Does their lifestyle choices affect mine? Of course not. I know where I put my dipstick at damn near almost every night, And that's all that matters to me. I don't care what people dip into outside of what goes on in my household. I really don't. If that's how you want to live your life, hey, live your life. I do stupid stuff, I guess, but because of the stupid, then I like to, I don't know, indulge in, we'll say CBD. It's looked down upon amongst other people, but does it hurt you? Does it affect you? No, I'm just living my life, man. That's how they want to live theirs the way they want to live it. But I don't think it's the equivalent of blackface, and I don't know how women feel about that. A transgender person assuming their identity. I don't know how women feel about that, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, here's something that was, for lack of a better way to put it, polarizing. On his radio show, he said not only Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, Sheila Jackson Lee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, that they're all affirmative action picks. He said that certain black women don't have the brain processing power
Wow.
to otherwise be taken seriously.
Wow.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat serious. I'll give that to you, Nick.
Wild. Okay, I'll say, what would Yeshua do? Or what would Jesus do? Is that how Jesus would talk? Is that how he would view people?
Nick, you sounding very much like a politician. This don't sound like my man Nick right here.
I don't think, no, I'm saying from his perspective or from a Christian's perspective. Like for you to talk.
You think speaking about Ketanji Brown Jackson.
No. I'm saying this, like, is that how your God would talk about women, black women, or anybody for that matter? If you feel
Understood. Understood. Okay,
yeah,
I see where you're going.
So if you can claim to be this uber Christian, godly man or whatever, why speak like that? Why not walk in his footsteps the way you're supposed to? So, like I said, do I believe that he really believed this stuff, or was it just polarizing things to say? I mean, you can't, in my opinion, I'm not a Christian. I don't know. Used to be, but I couldn't call myself a Christian and be comfortable with it with having this ideology. You can't be lukewarm. You can't be on this side of the fence or this side of the fence. Either you love everybody, treat everybody with respect, or you do it this way, or when you get to the other place or whatever, you get spit out his mouth because you was lukewarm. I'd rather you be 100% hateful or 100% this way as opposed to being in the middle. I think that when he says stuff like that, it could be to get a reaction. Do I agree with it? Of course not. I've been called an affirmative action sniper, but ask the people on my sniper team, hey, there's a reason why I'm here, man. Like, I was not picked because they didn't want me to. There was the reason why I was the first black sniper in my battalion to serve overseas and go to war. I was the first one. Like, I didn't get picked for it. I had to fight tooth and nail for it. I had to fight for it, but I earned my spot because I was meant to be there. I was meant to be there. Do I think affirmative action exists? Of course, but who does it affect the most though? When you see these people protesting about affirmative action, you don't see black people out there. It's white women, for the most part. Affirmative action is not benefited, well, it's benefited by a lot of demographics and a lot of different ethnic races and backgrounds, ethnicities. It's not just one particular people. I think that some of these politicians that have these positions of power, I think some of them legitimately are just stupid. But I think that about most politicians anyways, whether you're black, white, Arabic, Muslim, it doesn't matter. I just think they're all stupid to begin with. But I also don't look at people like with a shield over my eyes and say, oh, because you look this way, you know, that's the reason why you got this job or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a politician. I think it's all weird to begin with, but I don't think whether he believed it or not, that's on him. Like, I'm not sure what that's supposed to do to me. I've never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth, you know? So like, because he has a view or an opinion, like, what is that? Not too long ago, were we not just like, bumping a few people, the Heil Hitler song by Kanye West. And we talking about Hitler, right? But now it's okay to make a song. I mean, all of it's just it's hoopla, man. It's whoop-de-doo, you know? It's supposed to do to me. I don't really care that he said anything. Like, I get it, but it doesn't affect me. Everything you said, do I agree with it? I don't. I don't agree with nothing he said. But that's his opinion. People don't agree with a lot of stuff that I say, a lot of stuff. But if you lose sleep over it, you're a weak person. You're a weak person. Like, what am I supposed to do? Charlie Kirk said a bunch of stuff. I mean, oh well, man. Oh well.
You know, he was a wild boy, man.
There's a lot of wild people out here. A lot, look, Charleston White, you know, there's a lot of, there's a lot of, it ain't just Charlie or whatever, but people might say things just to get a reaction. One, two, do I think he actually believed it? I don't know. I didn't know the man, didn't have dinner with him, didn't break bread with him. But if that's genuinely what he believed in, like, seriously, like, whoop-de-doo, man. There's nothing. He's just a wild boy. I had some wild thoughts and spoke about wild stuff, but at no point in time, like, should I think anybody, not just me, get caught up in his rhetoric or what he said or what he believed in. You just look at it, listen to it, read it, and just be like, wow, that's crazy, and move on.
Do you remember back in January, an American Airlines plane, it actually collided with a Black Hawk Army helicopter in D.C.?
I do, and it wouldn't. Yeah, I do. Yep, and it went to the ocean, or not the ocean, but yeah, the river or whatever was.
Yep. You're 100. Yep, same one. Donald Trump at that time suggested DEI efforts were at fault. You know, he was like, you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a classic example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk comes out and says, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. This is the first thought that comes to mind when he gets on a plane and looks in that cockpit and the guy wearing them wings waves at him and just happens to be black.
My uncle was a pilot for like 20-something years, yeah. He never had any incidences or whatever. I've had black pilots, but that's him. Like, I don't know. Were the pilots even black, though, who were flying the helicopter or the plane?
I believe the one flying the actual helicopter was.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Don't quote me on that, but it was one of it. And I'm not going to say they were black; they were a person of color. So it could have been. I believe that they were Indian, if I remember. No, it was the American Airlines pilot, and I believe he was Indian, if I got my facts correct.
So he wasn't even. Yeah. So wild talk, man. It's just wild talk. I mean,
You know, what I don't think people realize, affirmative action, DEI, it's not about lowering the qualifications. It's about giving people an equal chance. If to your point, many of the people on the front line of these movements, it's white women, because for many years they weren't paid equal. They couldn't get the same job whether they were overqualified as their white male counterpart.
mm-hmm.
So it's not about lowering qualification standards. It's truly about, I'm not going to, and I saw a report not a report, but I saw something that came out with this woman, and she did this long post. She worked in HR.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying whenever they get applications or what's the word that I'm looking for? Resumes, excuse me. And the name seems ethnic, they immediately are taught to put that resume to the side. They're not, those people don't even get the interview. They're not considered. It's pushed to the back. So somebody whose name is Ketanji, who just happens to be a Supreme Court justice now, had she not benefited, and I'm going to say, I'm sure she's overly qualified. She's a lawyer. She's overly qualified. And I don't want to downplay in any way, shape, or form her intelligence and her qualifications.
Yeah.
But if this is going on in 2025, where people are like, yo, that name, we know it is not an Anglo-Saxon, white, European male or female, so put them to the side. We don't even get the chance. This is not about qualification. It's about getting a chance, period.
No, I agree, yeah. And playing a game, too. I mean, I don't know. Who designed the game? Who designed the game?
I think we know that.
Why do we keep, I mean, if it's bothering us that much as a people, then why do we keep wanting to play the game? Why do we keep wanting to be accepted into a game that's wasn't designed for us or created by us anyways? That's how I see it. Like, why play the game then?
Okay, so what's the answer? When you say something like that, what's the answer?
We was doing it a long time ago, Black Wall Street. We was doing a lot of it. I think that we stopped focusing on things that we are capable of doing and wanted to play into a system, a game that's not even for us. But even then, even when we were successful, we still are successful. They burned it down or they bombed it, you know? I don't know. I think that if you don't want to play the game, if you don't like the way the rules are, change the game. Are you trying to be accepted into not even society, just trying to be accepted in general by people who don't even like you? If that's what it is, why keep forcing yourself to get in and play this game? I don't know. I don't think there is like an immediate solution right now, you know? Not an immediate one. And if that's the way it is, like, seriously, like, what are we going to do about it? What can you do about it? If institutions are designed to keep you down, what are you going to do about it? Are we going to get mad and protest again? Go marching again? Like, that didn't do anything. Keep trying. I see that working a lot.
Yeah. I mean, look, Nick, we could go down this road. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't think any of us do right now at this point. I don't.
You know, but I'm gonna tell you, as much as Shawn Prez might disagree with Charlie Kirk's viewpoints on many of the issues,
Fact, yeah.
I do believe the starting place is exactly what he tried to bring into the world, which is agreeing to be disagreeable and having civilized debate and conversation with people who have opposing viewpoints.
That's the only way
I
anybody's
don't know
gonna
what
learn.
the answer is, but I know that is the starting place.
I agree. I can agree with that. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah. You got to have open discussion. In order for me to know how you think or what you think, I need to hear you talk. And you have to listen to me. And maybe somewhere in the middle we can meet. If not, we go about our ways, but I learn something. Either fuck this guy or keep it moving, or okay, I can understand where you're coming from. But yeah, it starts with a dialogue. I agree with that. But I think that right now in society, that dialogue, a lot of people at the top want to keep that dialogue down, suppressed. I think that. So we don't have that open discussion, open dialogue. That way things out of that, things do change. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I agree with you though, open dialogue. I agree with that 100%.
No, I think like I said, that I truly, in the depths of my soul, believe that is the starting place. You know, whether I agree with you or I detest every word that comes out your mouth. At his memorial service, and again, we have spoken about Kirk for the bulk of this conversation between you and I. And I've mentioned many times how he was deeply rooted in his spiritual and Christian beliefs. And his wife, Erica, I believe is her name, when it was her time to speak, she said that she forgives the man who took that shot because Jesus forgave. And through tears, publicly, and this was literally in Arizona at State Farm Stadium. I mean, it was tens of thousands of people there. She was able to say, I forgive. Do you think that you could have forgiveness in your heart literally days after someone took away your significant other?
No. Not days after. No, not me. No. But you're also talking to a guy who used to like getting revenge. And I'm not too sure I'll be able to like not want to do that again, taking my significant other. Like I'm going to have to let that hate marinate for a little bit. I know it's not good. I know it's not good for the soul and it's not what I truly believe in. But during that time and moment, no, I wouldn't be able to forgive immediately. No, it's going to take time with everything. But in that given moment, days later, for me, no. So stronger her than me, because I wouldn't be able to. It would take, and I don't even know if I would be able to, period. Like, I don't know if that time would ever come, be able to forgive somebody for doing something to my significant other. I don't even know if that would be able to, for me. Like, I try to be good. I try to live the life that, I believe should be lived. But I'm also human too. And I'm a unique individual, a unique human. I'm different than her, different than a lot of other people. But for me, no. Like, I was going to say something wild, but no. Forgiveness
No.
is a it's a powerful thing. I get it. But me, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
I think you, like you said, you're a unique individual, as am I, as are all of the people who will be watching this. And I think by any measure, many people couldn't do it. It's just a very, very difficult thing to do, and I think it speaks volumes, truthfully, like volumes about that woman,
Agree.
and,
Yeah.
and about their strong beliefs, that was in the Kirk household. That's not easy to do, bro. At that same service, good old Trump said, Kirk did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where we disagree. That's where I disagree with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. Yeah. Yo, is he not a wild boy?
Wild. 100% hey. Wow. Wow. That's the president, Damn.
Yo,
Absolute savage.
Your man said, that's where we disagree. I hate my opponents and I
hate
don't
my
want the
ops.
best for them.
I hate my ops. God.
Exactly.
Hey, it's Trump. I mean, I don't really expect like the most brilliant, well thought out. Sometimes I guess he is, but I just don't expect like Albert Einstein level, quotes to come out of his mouth, like ever. So when he does say some wild stuff, I'm just like, what do you expect? It's Trump, we know that.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have saved like he picked the wrong, time to do it, the wrong venue, the wrong location. That's beyond my level of wild, I might say some wild stuff, but at least I try to get a feel for the setting. He did it during the ceremony for Charlie. That's different. That's different.
nah, your man is so different. But, here's the deal. That's what makes people love him.
Exactly, yeah.
That is what makes people love him. That is what makes people, and you and I have had this conversation and we won't go down this road, but, and I've said this since his first term in office. I mean, he talks a great game. He does. And he almost will have you believing that he understands your walk in life. Yep. When them eggs go up and you can't afford eggs, you go to the grocery store and you're like, damn, I got to make a life decision because the price of groceries, it's killing me. So either I feed myself and my family or I don't put gas in the truck tomorrow.
Has it changed though?
No, none of that's changed.
All right.
But he has people believing he understands it when there hasn't been a day in his life where this has ever been a concern of his. The price of anything. Well, I'll say the price of anything that most people deal with day to day. Food, clothing, shelter. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I paying my mortgage? These haven't been concerns of his, but he literally has people voting because they truly believe he is the only person out there that gets them. And when he says wild stuff like this, they're like, yo, this is exactly why I voted for this man, because he tells it like it is and he understands me, because I feel the same exact way. Crazy.
Well, then, it goes to show like the deeper way of thinking of the average American people. I'm going to say average, but a large demographic within the United States. That's the way they think. That's the way they feel viewed. He was worried about paying the casino, though. That casino, he's worried about paying that casino. That joint was going in that college, them Trump stakes. But yeah, how am I gonna sell
but those
these
are the
things?
kind of things he's worried about. When he starts worrying about gas going up 5 cents a gallon, you know, that's when I can really look at him different. But I don't think he gets that.
Yeah, I'm about to say he
or
never
ever
will.
has.
Yeah, yep. Never will. He don't have to worry about that. Never will have to worry about it.
Not in his lifetime.
No.
Not in his lifetime.
His kids won't either.
I mean, you know, pumping your own gas.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know that he's ever even done so much as that. And if he has, that, like, really think about that. You know, we vote for many of these politicians, and it ain't just him. Biden was rich. You know, he might not have been born rich, but Biden is sitting on some wealth.
Yeah.
Be very, very clear. Many of these politicians are getting it. That's why they get into politics. You know, we think that they're standing up for the people, but they have figured out ways to line their pockets. They got book deals, all of them. Your girl,
Harris.
the vice president,
Kamala Harris. I saw
Harris,
that yesterday.
there you go.
Yep.
Kamala Harris is about to get it.
Yep.
Gonna have a New York Times bestseller.
Yep.
Let's be real clear. The game is rigged.
Yes.
But they will convince us, I am fighting for you. And that couldn't be further for the truth. And the reason I know this, even if I ever doubted it, you know, Marco Rubio, I believe that's, you know, there were so many clips with him calling Trump a con man and, you know, calling him a dictator and a joke, you know, and all of these things. And to further his political career, whether it's him, J.D. Vance, any of them, Ted Cruz, every one of them, if you listen to their rhetoric before he became president, they sound like leftists.
Exactly. Yep.
They had the same arguments. Now they all had to kiss the ring.
Yep.
I got to get paid. I want to stay in politics. And it's like, yo, nobody sees this. Nobody's calling y'all out on this.
I know, right? It's scary. I think a lot of people do see it. Maybe, but not enough. I don't think enough people see it. And if you do see it, then how do you still believe the game? The game's rigged and it's not for us. It's not for, it goes back to the game again. We keep playing a game that's rigged. It's rigged. Yeah. We keep wanting to be a part of a game that's rigged and we know it's rigged. And we're fighting to keep the referees and the business bosses, you know, in power. But it's rigged all the way. I don't think any politician, any government official truly cares about the people or the average American. I really don't.
No, it comes down to what we were talking about earlier. First law of the land is self-preservation.
Exactly.
And Marco Rubio, and you know, we just use him as an example. Listen, buddy, you was down when Trump lived his life in New York was one thing. You were repping Florida for many years. Yeah. Trump, you know, made Mar-a-Lago down in West Palm Beach, his home base. That put a lot of pressure on dudes like Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
And if you want to advance in your career, now all of a sudden you're Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm.
You had to kiss the ring.
Yep.
You went to get, so when it's so hard, it's so difficult for me to take any of these. I don't care what side you're on. Any of these people at their word that they're quote unquote for the people.
No.
Because at the end of the day, you're for yourself. You're for your career.
Yep.
You went against everything you stood for.
Yep.
With no explanation, hoping that we'd forget.
Yep. And I guess we do. Or we don't, and just don't care enough to do anything about it.
Off topic, what'd you think about Jimmy Kimmel?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Man, I think that, I know for like business employers and stuff like that, there might be a clause or something of what you can and can't say, I guess, but I don't think he said anything wrong enough to get fired for. I just think in the heat of the moment, everybody wanted to, hey, don't say anything bad about Charlie or whatever, and or you're going to get canceled. I just think that the whole canceling game is kind of like lame anyways, though. But, I mean, he got his job back. So, I mean, was it really a loss, or was it just like for show? You know, was it just for show? Did he really lose it? Did he? I mean, no. And it didn't affect anybody anyway. Like, Jimmy Kimmel's rich. Like, what did it hurt? But freedom of speech, I think that's that slippery slope that we talked about last conversation. You know, America's just like, yeah, I do believe America's on a very slippery slope of, hey, got to be careful, you know, because they can come after you next. That's how it always works out. You know, you got one side of the aisle who's like applauding because, oh, they lost their job and whatever. But not too long ago, I mean, saying the N-word, you know, was acceptable on their side because it's freedom of speech, and they didn't like when people start losing their jobs on that end either. So it's always good when it's happening to somebody else, but I think this whole freedom of speech thing and who can get punished for it, how you can get punished for it, I think that it's a slippery slope that I think both sides of the aisle should really pay very close attention to and be careful because, yeah.
You know, his show was indefinitely pulled off the air.
Came back last night.
Came back last night. But what he said, you know.
What did he say? Yeah, what did he say?
And I'm going to try to get this as close to what he said as possible. He said the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this guy who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and was trying to score political points from the crime rather than sincerely grieving. That right there is what he said.
Oh, so they were mad because he put the blame on their side, their sports team, the right side. I get it. I thought he said something worse, like, I don't know, something bad about Charlie or something. You know, he said something about, she was trying to pin the shooter on the MAGA side. And the MAGA side didn't like it, so I guess he got fired for it?
Correct.
Oh.
Well, it goes a lot deeper than that. And, you know, it's the FCC
I guess because it's false
Carr.
information. It's like the whole misinformation, false, or whatever you want to call it, misinformation.
Well, I think, you know, let's call it what it is. In the days following the shoot, and even into today, this is a this is a tinderbox right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on both sides. But what really is on the table right now is exactly what this entire conversation has been about, is the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter what side of the aisle you stand on. And people are you, and again, like I said, it's a lot deeper and we can go into it. It had, you know, to do with ABC and Disney and the FCC chief Brendan Carr and deals that were going to be made. And, ABC kind of had to use Kimmel as a fall guy in order to get this deal through. They got to play nice
Like I
with the
said,
president.
so it was a show. It wasn't about like freedom. It was a show. They had to put on a show to get something done, but he's right back on the air. I don't know. I think he didn't say anything like, I guess, wrong, other than if it was about misinformation, if that's what they're trying to play on, then we can go back to 2020 era, and our own politicians were divvying out a whole bunch of that. So I don't know. But yeah, freedom of speech we're on a slippery slope.
It really is.
Yep. It's all fine and, and dandy when it's happening, to your opponent. But when it starts happening to all of us and they start cracking down on what we can and cannot say, be a different story. But that's why we have the Second Amendment. And that's why we can't get rid of it.
Well, I truly believe that the First Amendment, for sure, it has to stand. You keep saying that it's a slippery slope that we're on both sides of the fence, and you are dead right. You are dead right. Where this country is going, unfortunate from my standpoint, it feels like civil war.
Yeah.
Like, it really feels like people based on their political beliefs are going back to the streets.
Yep.
And I pray it doesn't happen, but this is the setup.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the powder keg. I'm telling you, you're 100% right about that. I think that all the things are set in place right now for it to pop off. And there's like little skirmishes right now or whatever, but a matter of time. I don't hope it's not bad to say we're just like another Charlie Kirk style shooting away from something really popping off. But who you gonna fight though? Who you gonna fight? How do you know who you're fighting? I don't think that the Republicans are gonna walk. Maybe they might wear a uniform. I don't know. Democrats, what are they gonna have? I don't know. What are we gonna wear? What's the uniform? How do you know who's who? Based on skin color, I think, is what it's going to boil down to. I think everybody's going to get back to their dumb brain, simplistic ideology, and be like, you're black, you're a Democrat, you're white, you're Republican. Boom. But that's what I think the powers that be want anyways, though. It's right down the middle division.
What'd you think about Jimmy Kimmel?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Man, I think that I know for like business employers and stuff like that, there might be a clause or something of what you can and can't say, I guess. But I don't think he said anything wrong enough to get fired for. I just think in the heat of the moment, everybody wanted to, hey, don't say anything bad about Charlie or whatever, or you're going to get canceled. I just think that the whole canceling game is kind of like lame anyways, though. But I mean, he got his job back. So, I mean, was it really a loss or was it just like for show? Was it just for show? Did he really lose it? No. And it didn't affect anybody anyway. Like, Jimmy Kimmel's rich. Like, what did it hurt? But freedom of speech, I think that's that slippery slope that we talked about last conversation. America's just like, yeah, I do believe America's on a very slippery slope of, hey, got to be careful, because they can come after you next. That's how it always works out. You got one side of the aisle who's like applauding because, oh, they lost their job and whatever. But not too long ago, I mean, saying the N-word, was acceptable on their side because it's freedom of speech, and they didn't like when people start losing their jobs on that end either. So it's always good when it's happening to somebody else. But I think this whole freedom of speech thing and who can get punished for it, how you can get punished for it, I think that it's a slippery slope that I think both sides of the aisle should really pay very close attention to and be careful because, yeah.
His show was indefinitely pulled off the air.
Came back last night.
Came back last night. But what he said,
What did he say? Yeah, what did he say?
And I'm going to try to get this as close to what he said as possible. He said the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this guy who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and was trying to score political points from the crime rather than sincerely grieving. That right there is what he said.
Oh, they were mad because he put the blame on their side, their sports team, the right side. I get it. I thought he said something worse, like, I don't know, something bad about Charlie or something. He said something about, she was trying to pin the shooter on the MAGA side, and the MAGA side didn't like it, so I guess he got fired for it?
Correct.
Oh.
Well, it goes a lot deeper than that, and it's the FCC.
I guess because it's false
Carr.
information. It's like the whole misinformation, false or whatever you want to call it, misinformation.
Well, I think let's call it what it is. In the days following the shoot, and even into today, this is a this is a tinderbox right here.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides. But what really is on the table right now is exactly what this entire conversation has been about, is the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what side of the aisle you stand on. And people and again, like I said, it's a lot deeper, and we can go into it. It had, to do with ABC and Disney and the FCC chief Brendan Carr and deals that were going to be made. And, ABC kind of had to use Kimmel as a fall guy in order to get this deal through. They got to play nice with the president.
So it was a show. It wasn't about like freedom. It was a show. They had to put on a show to get something done, but he's right back on the air. I don't know. I think he didn't say anything like, I guess, wrong, other than if it was about misinformation, if that's what they're trying to play on, then we can go back to 2020 era, and our own politicians were divvying out a whole bunch of that. So I don't know. But yeah, freedom of speech we're on a slippery slope.
It really is.
Yep. It's all fine and, and dandy when it's happening, to your opponent. But when it starts happening to all of us and they start cracking down on what we can and cannot say, be a different story. But that's why we have the Second Amendment. And that's why we can't get rid of it.
Well, I truly believe that the First Amendment, for sure, it has to stand. You keep saying that it's a slippery slope that we're on both sides of the fence, and you are dead right. You are dead right. Where this country is going, unfortunate from my standpoint, it feels like civil war.
Yeah.
Like, it really feels like people based on their political beliefs are going back to the streets.
Yep.
And I pray it doesn't happen, but this is the setup.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the powder keg. I'm telling you, you're 100% right about that. I think that all the things are set in place right now for it to pop off. And there's like little skirmishes right now or whatever, but a matter of time. I hope it's not bad to say. We're just like another Charlie Kirk style shooting away from something really popping off. But who you gonna fight though? Who you gonna fight? How do you know who you're fighting? I don't think that the Republicans are gonna walk. Maybe they might wear a uniform. I don't know. Democrats, what are they gonna have? I don't know. What are we gonna wear? What's the uniform? How do you know who's who? Based on skin color, I think, is what it's gonna boil down to. I think everybody's gonna get back to their dumb brain, simplistic ideology and be like, you're black, you're a Democrat, you're white, you're Republican. Boom. But that's what I think the powers that be want anyways, though. It's right down the middle division.
The U.S. carried out multiple airstrikes on Venezuela,
Yeah.
on Venezuelan vessels.
Yeah. Them fishing boats.
Yeah. I think they hit about 3 or 4 now, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Wow.
Yeah.
I saw 2.
Yeah.
I saw 2 get hit. And I saw a colorized version too.
I mean, U.S. is not playing. And these narcos, I don't know, man. Like Trump is serious about, you head this way with them boats.
Yeah.
And even if we think you got that stuff in it, we dropping bombs from the air.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's the peaceful president, though. I don't know. That's the no more wars. It's not a war, but I mean, if you want to stop drugs coming into the country, it's going to take a lot more than that. One boat here, one boat here. I'm telling you, it's like a show of force. And that's what a term we use in the military. It's a show of force. Just to show what we can do before, so things don't escalate, so we don't really have to come spank that ass. I hope we don't. But drugs are going to get here. I mean, the whole war on drugs thing was a failure. It's going to continue to be a failure. Because you can go on any back road in the trailer park or down in the country and find some meth and a chef to make it. So drugs are always going to be here. They're always going to be here.
No, they are. And there's no doubt about that. It's too much money in drugs.
Yep.
That's why the government now got their hand in weed.
I was about to say that exactly. Everybody's going to benefit from it. Everybody's going to benefit from it. The cartel and the government, our government, they're going to benefit from it too. And so will the defense contractors and Lockheed Martin and all those Boeing and all them. Yeah, everybody's going to benefit from it. Everybody's going to benefit from it. War is it's a money-making business. Killing is a money-making business. Very much so.
That's crazy. Killing is a money-making business.
Very much.
I don't know, brother. The more we talk, I mean, these conversations, they're always eye-opening. They're always great to have. But the more we talk, it just paints the future so damn dark, man.
Told you. I know it, bro. I'm telling you, I think the only cure for this is it's the forest analogy of the only way to clear a forest is to burn it down. I'm not calling for that, but that's the only thing I can see that's going to happen. I don't think that we're all going to wake up one day, hold hands, and scream out kumbaya. I just don't, and everything is going to be fine. I don't believe that. There's a lot of anger built up. There's a lot of fire that's waiting to spread in America right now, and it needs a release. And the more pressure that builds up, the bigger the explosion is going to be. I think that's where we're at now. Nothing's going to politics are too corrupt. They're not hiding it anymore. We all see it. We just have nobody what are we going to do? At this point, I think we're all waiting for that release. I think secretively, deep down, there's a large demographic within America that wants a civil war to happen. 100% believe that. And that's it's all about sides, man. The right one, the left one, it's about sides. And I think that there's a side, maybe both sides, but there's a large number of people out there that I think they really want a civil war. However they think that's going to, look, won't be pretty. It'll take me less time to adjust than it will the average person. I'm already there. I dream it every night. So in some ways, I'll just be back home.
You sound like Rambo.
I hope not.
You sound like John Rambo. I'm like, yo.
No, in
But
a lot of ways, I'll just be back at home, man. I was most comfortable I've ever been was at war. Because
that's
I
crazy, man.
only had one thing to worry about, essentially one thing. I didn't have bills to pay. I didn't have to worry about this. I had one thing to worry about. That was it, just one thing. It didn't get no more simpler than that. But at the trade-off, it is hell. It's hell on earth. But it's hell everywhere on earth at this point, feels like. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, I'll just be back at home. I won't have to worry about, oh man, you know, whatever. I don't know. Or what the average or person has to worry about. How they're going to make ends meet or anything like that. No one's got to worry about that now, you know? You want food? Go get it. It's lawlessness. You go back to your primal state. It's kill or be killed. You can't get no more simple than that. It really can't. It cannot get that much more simple. We live in a complicated world now.
Nah, you're dead right. You're dead right. Hopefully it doesn't come to that place.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's my pleasure as always to have these conversations. Many times they're never easy. We're touching on subjects that, you know, some people find offensive, others find hard to listen to. But I think it's always great to have these conversations with you because if for nothing else, they're real. And what's said need to be said. So, you know, like I tell you all the time, man, I'm looking forward to the next time. I love you. Be safe out there. And let's do it again soon.
Same, brother, same. Hopefully under different circumstances. No more loss of life.
Nah, like I told you, Nick, like I don't know what, man. But we got to really watch the days that we get together because every time we get together, there's a new mass shooting.
Man, ain't that real? Ain't that real? Huh.
Next time we're going to do it when the calendar is clear and the Yankees win the World Series or something.
There we go.
That seemed like it would be a good day.
Okay. All the Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl.
There you go.
No, I'm just playing. That ain't never going to happen. I'm good. I ain't waiting that long.
All right, kid. Till next time.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
Peace and love.